Right, let's clear this up. People don't drain us because they're annoying. There's this misconception that introverts hate people, and that's just not true. Yes, you might be someone that doesn't like being around people all the time, and that's normal. There are those that like their own space and much prefer it. But a lot of us introverts actually enjoy going out with friends and socialising. The point is, we can only do it to a certain extent. There's a limit, and it's all to do with our energy. So when we drain our energy completely through these social interactions, that's it. We're like burnt out and we don't want to do it anymore. And that's when we need to like come back and recharge and just have those few days of space, and we don't want to do anything. And that's normal. That's not us like trying to avoid people. That's us taking time to recharge. Don't think that anything is wrong with you if you don't want to be around people all the time, because people are draining for us. But it's not the people themselves, it's the situation, it's the scenario, it's how much energy we're giving to those environments and those people. Please don't feel like you have to be constantly on and socialising to be like everyone else, because a big part of understanding yourself as an introvert is understanding your limits and how much energy you have, how much you have to give to people. Now, if you push yourself too far, it's just going to be like completely, you're just going to burn yourself out with all this socializing, and you're going to hate it even more. I think the thing to remember is that you can only do so much with your energy. You can't force yourself to be someone you're not. You can't force yourself to be more extroverted. You can't force yourself to be more outgoing, and you can't force yourself to be more social. At the end of the day, if you're not a social person, you're not a social person. You can try and be more social, but if it really feels like it's such a struggle for you and it's getting you all worked up and you just feel like it's the worst thing and it's only draining you even more, then that tells you that you're pushing yourself too far. You're pushing yourself beyond your limits, and you're trying to be someone that you're not, but you're not honouring who you are. You might be someone that doesn't like constant interaction, and that's okay. For me, I like being a social person, but there's only so much socialising I can do. And I find that it also depends on the environment and the people that are there. So, of course, there are going to be environments where you feel really comfortable and you feel like you can be yourself and they're not as draining. But there are also those environments where it can be very loud and hectic and there's too much going on. There might be people there that don't quite understand you. And for introverts, that's going to drain you. Another thing to remember is that when we're around people, our brains are doing so much. Because we're natural thinkers, we're always like, our brains are always constantly on. There's so much activity going on in our heads. We're thinking, okay, what do I say next? We're analysing people, we're observing the room, there's like so much going on. Even that in itself can be draining. The difference is that extroverts are energised by talking. So when we're not talking, it's because we're thinking and we've got all of this going on in our heads. So we're not the ones to make conversation all the time. And that can be hard when people pick up on our quiet nature. And then we feel like we don't belong and we feel like we're the odd ones out because we're not getting involved as much. What's important to remember is that interactions do drain us, and that's not a problem. The problem is when we push ourselves too hard, or when we worry about it and then end up isolating ourselves even more, or feeling like we can't go out and be around people. How many times do you come back from a social interaction feeling absolutely drained and exhausted? That's not you being dramatic. That's you just being completely burnt out because you've just spent all your energy. The hard part is that we now live in a world where constant interaction and activity is like encouraged, and people are always meant to be going out and doing things and doing this, doing that, and it's like too much to keep up with. With people comes noise and emotions and expectations and unpredictability. And that's a lot for someone like us to handle. And that's what people don't understand, is that we're trying to mentally cope with that as well. So when we sit in silence, it's because we're dealing with it in the best way that we can. We don't deal with it by making so much noise and talking like everyone else. So because we find people and interaction so draining, we love spending alone time. We can spend like 6 hours alone and be absolutely happy with that. We don't need people around us all the time, and I think that's just something that not everyone will understand. Also remember that it's not the amount of time that you spend at an interaction as well. You could spend 2 hours at a family party and feel absolutely drained, but you'll have no trouble spending 6 hours by yourself. So it's the mental load more than the time. It's how much stimulation is going on. It's how much energy is being drained. So what can you do to help yourself when you find these situations so draining? When you find socialising and people so draining? What can help? I thought about this, and I think there's little things you can do just to make it a lot easier for you. The main thing is, if something's really draining you, then just cut down on that socialising. Don't feel like you have to put yourself out there. It's important to honour your energy, and it's important to honour who you are. Another thing is, don't feel like you have to go out in a big group. I always say that quality matters more than quantity. So just even having a one-on-one meaningful connection that you meet up with regularly, or someone that's just there for you and understands you, that's so much more important and so much more meaningful than trying to force yourself to be in a big group where you just feel like you're the odd one out, or that you'll be completely swallowed up. Another important thing to do is to make sure that you are allowing yourself time to recharge and to recover. You can't go out and socialise and then expect yourself to be okay. Your battery is going to be drained, so you need to recharge it. The best way to do this, as you know, is to be on your own and do the things you enjoy. And don't feel guilty for that either. Don't feel guilty for saying no to other plans, because you need that time to yourself. Now, this is really important, and don't feel like you have to explain yourself to anyone. Don't over-explain things either. If you want to be alone and if you need time to recharge and someone doesn't get that, then you don't need to explain yourself. Remember, not everyone needs to get you. Not everyone will understand you. You don't have to justify wanting to be alone or wanting space from people. And finally, I think it's just about accepting your own rhythms and who you are as a person. Everyone is different. Everyone has different energy levels. There are people that go into love socialising, that can be around people all the time. And there are those of us that just like to be alone. We're not people people. Does that make sense? We're not people. Yeah, you might not be a people person. That's fine. Not everyone is. You don't have to have tons of friends or feeling like we have to put ourselves out there. Because I think that only makes things worse, and that makes you more aware of being the one that, needs to do something about who you are. You don't need to change who you are. If you find socialising draining, you find socialising draining. That's it. The only way to make it not draining is to understand who you are. The goal isn't to force yourself to be more social. It's to build a life that works with your energy instead of against it. So know that it's okay if you find people draining. People are draining. Admit it to yourself. People are draining. They really are. And that's okay. You can admit it. You don't have to enjoy socialising. You don't have to be the one going out all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. There honestly is nothing wrong with that. You're not the odd one out. So just know that it's your energy that you need to protect. Thank you so much for watching, and always be your wonderful introverted self.